Hey fellow miners, and welcome to episode 30 in my all new Digging Minecraft series. My name is Armitage, and today's episode I want to start out firstly with a bit of just want to address something to do with my videos. You can see I am back to using the Sphax Pure BD Craft texture pack. It is one of my all-time favourite texture packs. I honestly cannot think of a texture pack that I like more than this one. A lot of people, when I had done my last couple of episodes, had mentioned that, oh, where's the Sphax texture pack? It's not gone, as you can see. I do try and mix my videos because not everybody likes this texture pack. Quite a few people actually prefer the default texture pack, or another texture pack, and in all honesty I don't know of another texture pack that I would want to use other than either the default or Sphax. So what I'm going to be doing, and I've addressed it in the comments, is I'm going to be mixing the two up. I'll do a couple episodes with Sphax, I'll do a couple without. I'm going to do all of my tutorials with the default texture pack. It just makes sense. It's much easier for people to understand what blocks I'm using. So please try and refrain from either complaining about the texture pack or begging me to use default or begging me to use Sphax when I'm not using it, because pretty much I'll use what I feel like in the way of a texture pack. Shush pussycats. And secondly, I want to try and mix it up for all the viewers, so the people that like Sphax will get some videos in Sphax, the people that don't will get the default. So just be fair to everyone, fair to me, and try and refrain from kind of harping on about which texture pack I'm using. And on the subject of texture packs, Sphax has updated he's updated the texture pack to be 1.3 compliant with what blocks are available so far in 1.3 with the snapshots. Sorry. He's also done something which I hope he kind of got from me. It possibly may not be. I hadn't seen anyone else ask him this, but I asked Sphax a couple of months ago whether he could do a closer to vanilla stone brick block. I don't have any in my inventory, so he seems to have taken that suggestion on board, and this is a little bit closer to what the default stone brick block texture looks like, and I really like it. The old stone brick texture was similar to the nether brick, except obviously it was grey. If you want to have a look at the old texture, you can check it in some of my old videos, but I much prefer this. This is so much nicer. So I want to say thank you to Sphax for listening to my suggestion and taking it on board. It probably didn't come about just because of me. I would have to assume that more people asked. But anyway, that's enough with all the boring guff. Today's episode we are going to be looking at a new project that I've been working on in my spare time, in my non-Diablo 3 farming like a crazy person inferno. You might remember the dome for my portal room we built a couple episodes ago with the tunnel that came all the way down here. I have since added a little downwards staircase off the sort of the side of this walkway or hallway. I've kept the same sort of block theme in the stone brick blocks with the pumpkin lighting and the wooden roof. I'm hoping they'll bring out nether half slabs, because I'll replace all these half slabs with nether half slabs. I didn't want to use brick and I didn't want to use cobble, so I opted with smooth stone half bricks, which I kind of like the look of in the Sphax pack anyway, the Sphax texture pack. I love the side view. It's almost like these bricks. So this comes down to here, to a rather open room, and a rather large wall of pistons. Well, an incomplete wall of pistons. Ooh, spooky. And what this is going to be is it's going to be an ice factory, or an ice chamber, an ice box, an ice storage room. And from over here, now you may remember quite some episodes ago when I was working on my farming area upstairs, I manually pushed a whole bunch of ice blocks from a snow biome from nearby. As you can see, this is a snow biome. This is like a chute going up to the surface, open. It's not complete yet, as you can see. I'm lining the walls with snow, and eventually all of these walls will be lined with snow. I have a snowman back. And what I have here are the beginnings of a snow machine, or an ice block machine, which, as I say, if you remember some time back, I pushed those ice blocks into my farming area. Can't remember what episode it is. I think it's around the 20 somewhere, maybe 23. And then Generikb, having seen that video, was inspired himself to, in his old Let's Play world, it's not his Hermitcraft Let's Play world, his old original Let's Play world, he was inspired to do the same thing, except he used a much smarter method than mine, and what I would probably consider to be a more permanent method. He used a bunch of bud activated smart pistons, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to have this tunnel, the ice block will form here. There's going to be a bud switch here where this cobblestone switch is, so as soon as that water turns to ice, the bud switch will trigger, which will trigger a piston down here to push this block up. Then this piston will push the block forward, so it'll end up in that position. And once, of course, that's happened, there's a water source block here, and there will be a water source block here. Right now it's frozen. If we break it, so there'll be a water source block. So when this ice block disappears, this will form another water source block right here. Now there we go, like that. And then again, the bud switch will activate. This block will get pushed up and out, and it'll get pushed along about 10 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, and then there will be another bud switch right here. So another piston bud switch will trigger, and a piston will push the ice block across. A piston mounted here, so I don't have any. What can I use to represent dirt? We'll use dirt. So a piston here will be triggered by this bud switch pushing this block across into this position, and then a piston behind it will push it forward, so it'll end up here. So what we'll have is essentially when this block moves forward, this piston pushes it across, then this piston here, which will be also hooked to this bud switch, so on a timer, like a tick delay, it'll push the block forward. So what we'll have is we'll have a whole bunch of those in a row. So again, we'll have a bud switch and a piston, and then I'll probably have it pushed to here, then the other piston will push it forward, so and then I'll have it go another 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, where I will have another bud switch and another piston, and that piston will push it across in front of another piston, and then so on and so on. I'm going to zigzag it like that down the hallway. Probably. So it'll look something like this. So these will be ice. Of course, these torches here will be gone, which is why there is half slabs under here. Everything that monsters can spawn upon. So yeah, there will be a bud piston right there. Everything that monsters can spawn on is going to have half slabs on it. So there will be no monster spawning in this area. And then directly above this, oops, I think it's going to be about 2 blocks. I'm going to have a glass platform. So this tunnel will go higher again, probably another 3 blocks higher. I'll have a glass platform up here that I can walk on and walk over the top of this, and I'll have probably have little access hatchways coming down to each of the piston pushing areas, or piston pushing spots, if I was a Dutch person. So yeah, that's the plan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then we'll go piston, piston, piston. I'm going to lay this out with cobblestone so that I know where stuff has to be. So that'll be a piston where that torch is. You can hear lava behind the walls here. That's I don't know where that is. I think it's below me. So piston, piston. And so on. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think I'm getting this right. Because I can't push more than 12 blocks. Anyway, I've run out of dirt. So yeah, that's the plan. I'm going to lay this out with the cobblestone just to get the measurements up, and then I'm going to start to actually put in one of the smart pistons. So I need to make a lot more pistons. I need to make another 11 I need to make another 20 for the piston wall here, then another 11 to run along the bottom. Right, actually this needs to go, okay, I need to sort this out. So anyway, I'm going to need a hell of a lot more pistons. It's 3 per turn, or 3 per piston buckle, and I'm going to need another 31 down here. What do we got? That's 4 high, so we need to go up. Oh crap. We need to go up again. So this yeah, anyway, I'm going to sort this out, and I may have to bring this floor up to this level here, which is not too much of an issue. That's easily done. Yeah, I'm going to need to bring the floor up. Okay. I'll just cover over this. Can't be bothered digging it all up again. Anyway, so I'm going to go on with some building, and we will report back when I have gotten a bit further. Okay guys, so we are back briefly. What I've done so far is I've done a little bit more to the tunnel. I have raised the roof a little bit. I've also done a little bit more work down in the storage room, the cold storage room. But what I wanted to get started on was the actual ice making system. So what we're going to have is here we'll have a water source block, and here we'll have a water source block. They will meet here above this piston, and they will actually, we could probably, oh no, we'll quickly go through how it works. They will meet here up above this piston here. This is a bud switch. It's a slightly longer delayed bud switch. I've got 2 repeaters up here set to full and a repeater here set to full. That is so that there's plenty of time for the ice block to get out of the way before the bud switch resets itself, because otherwise when this piston retracts, this will trigger again, which will trigger this piston again. So it basically works like this. If you imagine that that's an ice block. So an ice block forms here, it's pushed up and out. And every time an ice block forms, that will happen. That was a bit too quick. Now there is an issue where if an ice block immediately forms, and it can immediately form, there'll be a problem, but I'm going to take care of that. I've got I've got a safety measure that I'm going to use to stop ice forming before the bud switch is reset. It will just involve having another sticky piston. Oops, didn't want to throw all them away. Get rid of that block because it needs to be, oops, it needs to be right there. These efficiency picks are crazy. So it needs to be right there, and then it needs to have, gonna probably stick that. So it needs a solid block. So that solid block will come out and I keep falling into holes. Cover this water until this bud switch is fully reset. Then, therefore, this block of ice cannot form until that is retracted. So that's going to be on somewhat of delay. I've already figured that out. Hiding this wiring is going to be the fun part. I think I'm going to be needing to have all this area solid anyway. So yeah, the bud switch just powers this block here, which turns this torch off, which takes power away from the top, which resets the switch, but it also powers this redstone wire that goes straight into the up piston. And now I'm sort of stuck in here. Powers that wire down there, which pushes this piston up, and then on a torch delay, because it's this torch is inverted, this will push just after that pushes because of this one torch delay. So it's fairly compact. I don't really know that you could make it more compact than that. Probably could, who knows. I don't really care because it works really well. So I'm not particularly fussed about any issues with compactness down here, because there is quite a lot of room for wiring, and there's no real need to make it as compact as possible as long as it's practical. I'm just going to half slab this area out where I can, just so that mob spawns aren't going to be an issue. I don't really need to get into this wiring ever again. Once it's there and set, we don't have to worry about it anymore. And all this is going to be hidden anyway by various means. So half slabs will go in where the wiring doesn't need to be uncovered. Pretty sure I can put... So I'm just going to cover in all of this wiring. So there we go, there's our trigger again. And I will come back again once it's all covered up and it's ready to go. As you can see, the ice machine behind the snow there is hard at work, generating ice. It's generated 5 pieces. There's another piece in behind here. I've put in like a master cutoff switch here, which I will probably actually wire up down the end there. For now I'm leaving it open. So basically what happens is the ice pushes out here, it pushes along here, comes over the top of this piston, which is a sensor for a bud switch. The bud switch activates. This piston goes this piston here pushes it sideways, then this piston pushes it forward, and just repeats that process as it goes. And the kind of safeties in place with having the piston behind the switch close each time a block of ice is formed, so that another block of ice can't form too quickly. So that block I'm looking at right now pops across the top while the bud is resetting, as I explained before. So I've done a little bit of work. I've got the glass walkway in. There was an Enderman down here before. Decided to bring a grass block with him. I've put in a few of the interchanges, I guess I'll call them, and I've got it so that it's starting in the middle and it pushes it, then this one pushes it to the right, it comes down here, and this one pushes to the left back into the middle, and then this one here pushes to the left over to this side, this one pushes to the right back in the middle, this one pushes to the right onto the left hand side. So it's kind of going to snake backwards and forwards up here. I was going to have it just on one side so that it'd be easier to get down there and walk up and down one side, but I kind of only thought of that after I'd put in three of these interchanges, so I really didn't want to rip it out and start again, so I've just decided to go with the zigzagging the whole way. I'm putting an obsidian block here. Oops. Important they stay on all four. Putting an obsidian block here on the end so that the ice can't push this block out of the way and break the bud switch. If we end up with a jam at any point, that's what this walkway is for. I'll be able to get down and try and take care of any jams. So I'm going to continue on putting in these bud switches. Actually, what I might do is, this is the bud switch, this is what I'm using. I'm using one with 2 repeaters so that it's slow. So if we put a block on here, you can see how slow it is in activating and deactivating. The reason for that is because it needs to be quite slow to make sure that things don't get blocked up. So that's how the sideways piston is activated. From there we take the signal over to here, and I'm using cobblestone for, we put this on a 2-tick delay, then need more cobblestone, knock that out. The ice will come underneath there, And then all I need to do is throw up my redstone and put another non-sticky piston right there. So this will activate shortly. This piston here will activate shortly after this piston, like this. So you can see the action as the ice comes along. It gets pushed to the side and then pushed forward towards that end of the tunnel to the storage room. The storage room is pretty much complete. I might go and show you that shortly. I'm going to mob proof this section here, and the way I do that is I just put half slabs on top of basically anything where monsters can spawn. For now. A lot of this is going to be replaced with snow blocks, because these walls I'm going to eventually turn into snow. But I just want to make sure that there is nowhere in here that nasties can spawn. These holes here, there's no avoiding it. Mobs will spawn in them, but hopefully they'll get killed off by the bud switch eventually, because they won't be able to get out. They'll be stuck in there. They can't get out up here onto the half slabs. And the next thing I do is I just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And this is the location for the next. I don't need to change any of those because they're already cobblestone. This is a location for the next bud switch. Oops. I have to be able to get out. Which is going to be pushing this way, I believe. So we need to have our piston here. So anyway, I'll continue on with the work, and we'll come back again once I've got some more to show you. Okay guys, so as you can see, the ice has pushed its way up to the first interchange, and there's 2 blocks have gone around the corner, so this is pretty much working. It activated right before I started recording. So, yeah, I was just getting ready to record and the thing went off. So we may not see it in action, but it's all pretty much finished. All the interchanges are in. I'm 100% sure, well, actually I won't say that. I'm 99.9% certain that it is not possible for anything to spawn down there. I need to do something about this torch because this torch is too close. You need at least you need at least I think it's 4 spaces between any ice and any light source. So these torches up the top here, we've got the torch itself, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's like between 5 to 7 spaces between each, between that torch up the top and the ice. I'm pretty sure I've gotten rid of any other possibly danger a house. I'll put that there. See if I can get back up. No, I'm not going to be able to get back up, am I? Wait a second. We'll remedy this. More. Meh. I'll put a half slab here. There we go. So yeah, I'm relatively certain that this whole area is melt safe. Ooh, that torch is definitely going to melt something. So I might just half slab this area for now. I just don't want any mobs spawning and ruining my day, because they'll get caught in the machinery. I mean, it's possible, as far as I can tell, they would probably get killed. But yeah, I don't want to, you know, have to mess around with getting down in there and killing stuff. So the master switch is still there. I'm not terribly sure what I'm going to do with that. I have thought about, I'm going to tunnel out, make a tunnel down the side of this, either the left side or the right side, or the left side or the right side. Sorry, I did a George W. Bush there. And possibly I'll put some lighting on the side, because it will be far enough away from this column of ice if I put it like way into the wall, just to give it a little bit of ambient light. I might even use half slab lighting. That's where you put a light in like that and then bang a half slab. I mean, it doesn't actually light the area, but like, it doesn't give you a block light, but it does cast a little bit of ambient light so that you can see what's going on. Oh, there we go. It just triggered. We didn't quite see it though. So yeah, the ice escalator, not escalator, ice conveyor is totally complete. I'm pretty sure that that chunk is still loaded when I'm way down here. But yeah, I'm not 100% sure. But this is the ice room, this is the storage room in its completedness. Again, all these lights should be far enough away that they won't melt any ice. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pretty sure 4 blocks is safe. If not, I'll have a bit of flooding here and I will have to move these back one. I may even do that anyway. May even move these back 1 or 2. But yeah, so the ice storage room is finished. And this works in exactly the same way as Etho's silverfish block storage system. Basically what happens is once a full line is here and one touches there, that will push up, and then once we get a full line of blocks on the side here, I don't know whether I'm going to be able to, it pushes it out, and this will push, you know, up to about here. But that's it for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed the episode, and keep on digging.